Hello, everyone. I'm Nadia Law, the Senior Director of Customer Success here at Reltio. With over 75 years of hospitality experience, Radisson Hotels has grown to become one of the largest and most dynamic hotel groups in the industry, with a powerful set of brands delivering world-class service and hospitality. Joining me on stage today to talk about their data journey is Nouman Ali, Senior Director of Global Data, Governance and MDM at Radisson Hotels. Welcome, Nouman. Could I please ask you to start by sharing an overview of Radisson Hotels?
Sure, thank you. It's Nadia, great to be here. When people hear about Radisson, they think about hotels. That's just on the surface. Radisson is really about moments. We have over 1,600 properties in operations and development. We have coverage in over 100 plus countries with 75K plus team members, which are living their yes, I can spirit every day. And scale, story is not about scale. We are growing fast. It's about intent. And our promise is very simple. Like I said, every moment matters. Mm-hmm. So that's what Radisson is about.
Thanks, Nouman. It's been several years since you embarked on your data journey. I'm sure the audience would be really interested in hearing the transformation that you've gone through from where you started to where you are now and the business benefits you've seen as a result of that journey that you've been on.
Sure. Every transformation starts with the same way, and that is admitting to the truth. So for us back in 2021, we had data in silos, we had everyone having their own source of truth, a broken telephone, and all the problems which you imagine if you don't have a data management, master data management solution you will have. We were having that in 2021. So we made a decision that we need to have a program, not a project, a program which is covering both technology, processes, and people, which we need to initiate to set the right data foundation. And from there onwards, from 2021 till now in 2025, we have onboarded multiple domains. So first priority was to bring in the domains like hotels as organizations, B2B, B2C, you guys might be familiar with those. And then it was like for us collecting the dots. And now we are connecting the dots as well because we are creating relationships between the domains like B2B, B2C hotels, which guest is working for which company, in which hotel they stayed, and all the relationships, the context, let's put it this way. So in 2025 itself, we have seen over the period of time a lot of gains. Like initially we had 15 systems which were connected to MDM. We call it one MDM. We branded it as well. It's now 52 systems. So that's like 38% growth and in a controlled manner, not like Wild West. So we have improvement in our data workflows. We have improvements in our data quality by 30 to 35%. For B2B, for example, what we have seen is, I give you one example. There was one attribute which our sales and marketing and our business development team needed, and it was something which we couldn't even get from third parties. We had to calculate it, and there we used AI in combination of LLM and some knowledge-based design. We were able to enrich that attribute, and the quality, which was 70% in the beginning, is now between 95 to 99%, and we are making great progress with that. Same goes with B2C, which we recently launched in the beginning of this year. We have seen close to 20 to 25% reduction in the duplicates. So it's not just about cleaning data, it's about faster decision, it's about better performance, better operations, and in the end, it's about better customer experience as well.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And now in 2026, what we are focusing on is elevating. Elevating is like not just maturing, but staying relevant as well, setting the right foundations. You might have heard the terms today about graph, context, metadata, and data foundation. That's what we are working on with a scalable operating model. So that's what we are focusing on this year to leverage. So we have set the foundation. And if you recall, if some of those, if you were in the EC or in the other events, like in Reltio, you have two sides, right? One is the foundation and one is the agentic side. Both work. So we have worked on the foundation over the years, and now we are ready for the next era.
Now you're ready for the next step in the journey,
Yep.
along the agentic AI journey.
Exactly.
So moving on then,
Yep.
into that AI journey, I believe that you've got over 150 use cases.
Yep.
So how is Radisson intending on dealing with the demand and the prioritization of those use cases?
Yep. Yeah, we had even more than 150. This is the shortlisted one. After, our transformation team and our AI demand management team, they collected lots of use cases. And what you are seeing on the screen are just a few examples which maybe many of us can correlate to. And these are the ones which some of them we have already unlocked and some are in progress as well. And for example, we are using AI for this firmographics enrichments. Like I said, this one attribute for B2B, we were not able to get it in-house. We were not able to get it from third parties. There was no provider. We built a solution. So imagine next thing you can do, AI can be your firmographic engine as well, provided if you have the right knowledge base and everything. We're also doing segmentation, which we call grouping, using AI as well. So entity resolution, dynamic survivorship, like you go beyond the match rules, right? You don't need to have 1 + 1 = 2. You can set your own dynamic match rules as well. So these are some of the cases, but we have quite a lot, big backlog, which we are now working on with. But this is just to give you an inspiration, like what's under the hood happening. And to manage those backlogs, what we developed is an operating model, because the thing is that like we need to ground the AI, we need to ground all the use cases which are coming, like what we have done in the past, like we all have done in the past with BI, with other data management practices as well. So what we developed early on now already is an operating model. And the operating model is working on, like we have a demand management where we are collecting all the use cases. And it's not about like, what it is it cool? No, what we ask is, does it matter, right? And what we link is, we link the demand with our strategy. So everything which is coming as a use case, we are linking it to our strategy and see if it is generating the value. Then based on that, we have a data office. Data office is a group of experts we have created in Radisson. And it's like a kind of all-rounder team, which is mix of business, IT, all in one. And with that data office and with the Steerco, we do the prioritization of those use cases to see which ones are delivering the value, which are just process improvements, which are transformational things, something new revenue stream, something totally out of the box, and big bets, we call it. And then after that, we decide on 3 levels, like whether we need to embed that into an existing application or process, or we buy a solution from another vendor, because you will see lots of vendors doing specialized AI for specialized use cases. Or third scenario, in some cases where we don't want to, it could be due to compliance, due to governance, we want to do it in-house, and we develop it in-house using AI Lab. If you recall the morning session we had in the keynote, exactly that structure we have in Radisson as well. We have the AI Lab, we have the leadership, and we also have, I won't say the crowd, we have the business as well, right in there. And everything on each of those stages, from demand management to the inception to the feasibility to delivery to support, what we make sure is that it's a responsible AI. We have AI governance in there as well, because you need to balance between safety and freedom. You need to balance between trust and freedom. And you have to see risk versus value, right? You have to see privacy versus convenience. You have to take all the accounts and measure and then make a responsible product, because you need to treat AI as a product as well. So it's quite dynamic how we are operating there. And obviously, it's a scalable one. We don't know what's the next disruption coming, so we keep it flexible as well.
So it sounds like you're prioritizing based on business outcome and
based on value.
And where you'll see the most value.
Exactly.
Excellent, thank you for that. Can you explain in a little bit more detail how AI is evolving and how you see Reltio supporting your agentic model?
Definitely. So, I mean, today what we are seeing a lot is single agent, right? Specialized agent. And what we are moving towards already, the discussions, is like agent talking to an agent, right? You have a data quality agent, you have a data steward agent, you have a data governance agent, and they are talking to each other. And then it's moving towards, like, you have multiple agents, and then you have an orchestrator agent, which is controlling those agents. Let me give an example. Today, what we are thinking about is, like, we have a process, there are people involved in it, let's bring AI into it to optimize the process. The future will be, you have a process, you have lots of agents, let's drop a human in there to make it, concrete. So that's how the things are shaping towards. So with Reltio and with other agentic AI concept, what we are working on is, we will have specialized agents and orchestrator and supervisor agents so that we avoid those hallucinations. We bring in those guardrails, right? So it's like using AI to beat AI kind of thing, right? What Gartner is also suggesting is that today we have one platform working. Then agents will be going cross platforms. And then, like in past or in today, what we have Internet of Things, we will have agents of things. Like applications will change. The way you interact with the data, the way you interact and do your stuff with your apps, your mobiles is going to totally change. It will be more like you're talking to it, you're writing to it, you're just talking to one interface and you're getting all your things done. You're saying, I need a hotel with that kind of a room in this place with that weather or whatever, book me or give me some options, you will get those as well.
That's fascinating, thank you. Are there any key learnings that you'd like to share from your journey?
Yeah, I mean, it's always like Henry Ford has once said, like, there are no things like big problems. It's just a massive amounts of little ones, right? So you need to start, like, don't go for perfection. What we learned as well is that you showcase the value. You solve the problems from today and tomorrow, and then deal for day after tomorrow ones. So the sooner you start solving those problems, your big problem will start reducing and will become a small problem as well. So showcase the value. Don't go for the perfection that everything needs to be pixel perfect before you do anything, right? So the idea is that showcase the value, give the results, have an iterative approach so that you count on the successes of every day. And what we learned when we started with MDM, the same thing applies to AI as well. Like, don't talk about technical terms. Don't say AI, MCP, or master data management, whatever. Just talk about business impact and business value with your folks. That will bring the investment. That will bring the realization. Like, if you say, I am delivering that much increase in the revenue, they will understand. If you say, if we do this, our revenue, people won't understand. So go for the easy language, business language, which normal folks can understand. And perseverance is the key, because if you have massive amounts of little problems, you need to be consistent, you need to be resilient, you need to continue every day, fix the thing for that day and move on to the next day and fix more. That's how. So these are all lessons, like what we have learned from, and it's tested on BI, on master data, analytics, and now AI as well. Same principle stands.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with the business value and how you frame it. I mean, very much the language that you use should relate to language that people understand from the business perspective. Growth in revenue, cost savings, efficiency savings, risk mitigation. That's what the business want to hear.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So what's next for Radisson?
Next, as I said, like in 2026, what we are focusing on 3 or 4 key pillars. One is like we want to have value-driven AI strategy, and we mature the governance, which I discussed earlier as well, for AI as well. And then we need to have a robust data foundation. And what do I mean by robust data foundation as well is that you need to have your critical data foundation, like master data, your data management in place, because if that is wrong, AI can't do anything. It's already pretty, sketchy. So if you give it as sketchy data, it will be a disaster. So you need to have your data foundation, but then it's not just the, let's say, master data or data management. You need to have the graph context of how things are related, how things are working. You need to have a metadata management in there as well. So once you have those foundations in place, then you can leverage using AI, and you can see AI giving you the right results which you want. And then you need to have scalable operating model for those use cases, because the disruptions are coming quite frequently, right? We are living in a never normal today. So we need to be ready for the next disruption. So today, it seems like yesterday we were talking about Gen AI, and today we are talking about agentic AI, and tomorrow who knows what is coming with MCP and other things coming up. I mean, it's amazing. So we need to be prepared. Like whatever we are building today is scalable for whatever is coming next, which is unknown. So that's the key.
Thank you, Nouman, so much. That's been fascinating, and for sharing your data transformation journey with us today. I'd now like to open up the floor for any questions for Nouman. Does anyone have any questions? Anything from the floor? Okay, have we got?
We have 2.
Hey, Amy Wisdom with Avid Exchange. Quick zoom in on your operating model. Can you tell me a little bit about how you leveraged that framework to drive continuous buy-in when you maybe had like drifting opinions around the plan?
So for us, the key is we hear in everything. Yeah, we collect everything from all the functions, right? And then you will realize, or at least what we realized was, like, if we are getting 500 use cases, 200 or maybe even 300 out of those are not for AI. Those are maybe you can do with RPA, you can do with just ML, or you can do it with normal BI as well. It's just because people are so excited seeing what's the possibility with AIs, everything is shoved at AI, right? So that is one thing. The second thing what we do is that we already have our strategic 5-year planning, that these are our strategic goals for the next 5 years. What we make sure is that whatever use cases are coming, they can be linked to those strategic goals for now, whether even if it is a transformative goal, right? Or it could be already we need to increase revenue, or we need to decrease cost, whatever is there underlying as well, you need to be, linking to your strategic initiatives, strategic goals as well. The other bit is, once you have that, then what we do is that, what's the feasibility of it, right? Because some things could be done already today. There are other things which maybe will need us enterprise level AI, which we are working on, or which we have brought in. Like, because sometimes use cases is like, is it impacting only one person, right? If some person wants something which he got an idea on Copilot and built something and it's working, now he says, it's cool, let's do it for whole organization. So you need to distinguish between those as well, like if it is an enterprise-wide thing what they're asking, or it's like only impacting one person, or maybe only a couple of folks, whatever. So, but we unlock that as well. That we unlock by giving, Copilot licenses or other licenses to individuals to improve the individual performance. But the point is that, like, when you're doing AI on enterprise level, you need to think about what correlate with your strategy, what correlates with your vision, where you are going. And we had a very interesting session the other day as well, where it was mentioned that one thing is today we are focusing on process automation, optimization. That's where more of the things are going. What people are not thinking about is the transformation, thinking something new, like creating a new product or creating something which nobody has thought about with AI. And what I personally believe and what we believe in Radisson is that these are the big bets, right? Process optimizations, I think every company is doing, right? Everyone is like, you're thinking, I can do this now in 2 days instead of 2 months. That's one thing. But the smart ones are thinking about new transformations, new things, game changers. Yeah.
Thanks, Nouman. Any other questions from the room?
Hi, I have one question on the multi-agent. So when you're saying the supervisor agent, supervise all the other agents, that the supervisor agent is capable to manage the other agent. The terms are like data quality agents, that so whatever the data quality agent is doing correctly or not correct, that supervisor agent is know about that, or how that things works. Maybe can you zoom in a bit?
Yeah. So again, one aspect maybe was not on the diagram as well is the human in the loop thing as well. And when these agents are talking to each other, what we need to keep in mind is that now we have the MCP as well, right? The Model Context Protocol as well. So it's like we are grounding the hallucination there. We are giving them the tools and we are giving them the knowledge base as well. What supervisor, or you can call it orchestrator as well, do in different cases is that like it's improving the context of the conversation, because if there are multiple agents talking to each other, you have this risk of losing the context, right, between the agents. So that is grounding that as well, and it has a clear instruction. It doesn't need to do the answering of what the request is. It's more focused on the, I would say, 10 principles or 20 principles you have given it that you need to check. That is the input. Are we getting the relevant output of that as well or not? So it is the way you design, right? You can add a knowledge base to it. You can add a kind of prompts. I won't call it a prompt, but instructions to the supervisor orchestrator as well. Then it becomes imagine it as a data steward, right? Kind of a person like who's getting match rules from one agent, getting data quality anomalies from another one, getting this from another one, and it's making decision based on your input. And in the end, you have the human in the loop, what I said. Because today, as of today, when we are talking about human in the loop is a must. And I see it in a foreseeable future as well. But today, it's like, again, what I mentioned, like you have a process, you bring a human in it to make it concrete. But orchestrator is kind of a direct agent for the human who is in there. So it's helping that. Instead of you managing 10 agents, you're just talking to one agent, which is orchestrator, and he's talking to the other agents. Yeah. But there are so many designs. Yeah? We are just all digging it in now. There are so many patterns which can evolve. Yeah.
Thank you, Nouman. Anyone else? We've got a couple more minutes if there's any other questions.
Thank you for sharing that operating model. One thing I observed there, that you have a delivery as a column there. And were you, in your environment, are you able to have a centralized delivery team for AI? Because in my experience, what I've seen is that every business function is doing their own AI experimentation separately. And it's becoming quite a challenge to really deal. And when they come to one central IT to do the AI, it is just not they are capable to handling so many use cases. So how do you handle that?
Yep. So what we are doing here is that we have created an AI lab thing. In the keynote, you might have heard about this as the D lab. So we have it as AI lab. What we do is that, like, with our data office structure, what we have built in Radisson, we are doing two things at a time. This AI lab is, first of all, filtering all those use cases and making sense of it together with our data office, like which ones are the real use cases and whatnot. And then what I mentioned there as well is that out of those use cases, we are not building everything. We are deciding which ones we buy versus build, right? Because there are things which don't need us to do it in-house, and it's not risky, it's no compliance issue, there is no GDPR or anything involved, so we say, okay, we can do it outside as well. And sometimes we embed it into our existing applications. Like, for example, Reltio comes today and say that we are making those agentic agents for different things. Instead of rebuilding, we can use theirs. So it's embedding. Tomorrow, Microsoft comes with their Copilot stuff, right, with the GitHub or whatever, right? So sometimes you embed, sometimes you buy, and other times you build. So that reduces the backlog in one way. The other bit, what is important is we do the governance. We make sure that whatever we are doing, whether it's a build, embed, or buy, we make sure it is following our AI governance rules. So that allows us to decentralize AI as well, right? While the rules and the governance and the control is central, where we are saying like, what level of safety versus freedom we are controlling, what level of value versus risk we are controlling, what level of privacy versus convenience, what level of trust versus freedom we are giving. Once you control those knobs, then you can have this flexibility that you say, if you adhere to our governance, then you can go and do it with other vendors outside as well. So what is important is that you have a kind of a policing where you control, like you have controlled BI or data management as well. You need the similar governance, obviously with the different flavors, because it's a different design. So yeah, that's how you can cope with it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nouman. Thank you for sharing your data journey and your vision with us today. And thank you all for attending. Nouman and I will be outside for a little while after this session if anyone has any further questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.